share my screen. Let's do this number. All right, can you guys see these slides? Do they move? Whoop. All right, can you guys see them? Yeah? Okay, good. Okay, so you hear everybody tell you that you have non-negotiables as a coach, that the vital behaviors are negotiable, that non-negotiable, that Success Club is non-negotiable. I say it all the time. Other leaders in training calls say it all the time. Even Carl Deichler did a whole speech on it on the Success Club trip. But if you're a new coach or just, you know, somebody who's just learning, you may wonder, what does that mean when people say non-negotiables? So I want to talk to you guys about what that means, and I want to talk to you about going from good to great to unstoppable as a coach. And the way that I think you can achieve that is by getting really clear about what non-negotiable means to you, and then having that mentality when it comes to your goals. Okay, so there's this really great quote by Tim Grover, and I mean, I think it's pretty common knowledge, but he says, most people will settle for good enough. If you want to be unstoppable, then those words mean nothing to you. So in coaching, there are a lot of things you're told to do. You're told to do your 3 vital behaviors, which are to read personal development every day, to be a product of the product, and to invite. And you're told that those things are non-negotiable. Well, to me, those things are basically good enough. And if you're settling for them, or if you're settling for trying to do them some of the time and not other parts of the time, then they're not really non-negotiables to you, because there's something that you're compromising on. And if you are like me and you want to be unstoppable, then good enough is not good enough for you. Okay, so what does it mean when you hear non-negotiable? I say it, leaders say it, Carl says it, but what does it actually mean to you? So I wrote down a couple things that maybe non-negotiable could mean kind of across the spectrum. But I really want you guys to take a second right here in the beginning of the call and think about it. In your life, when you hear the term non-negotiable, what does it mean to you? And then in your business, when you hear non-negotiables and you're acting on it, what does it mean to you? Are those two things the same? Are they different? There's not really a right or wrong answer here. I just want you to take note of that. So does non-negotiable mean that I'll try to do that? That's a great thing. I'm going to work on it. Does non-negotiable mean this is a guideline or suggestion that I'm being given that I should try to do in my business? Does non-negotiable mean that's a really great achievement if I have the time to do it, if it kind of fits into what I've got going on? Does non-negotiable mean if it happens, it happens, but I don't really want to put myself out. I don't really want to, muck up anything that's going on. Don't have to push too hard. And then does it mean there's no try, there's only do, there's no excuse for this not happening in my life? So what does it mean to you when you hear that term? And what does it mean in your business when you see that something is a non-negotiable? Where does it kind of fall for you? So I want you to just kind of take a mental note of it. Most people are willing to settle for good enough. If you want to be unstoppable, those words mean nothing to you. So most people will try. A relentless person will do. Most people will be okay with almost. A relentless person will surpass the mile marker. Most people are going to quit when it's hard. It's just human nature. It's what we do. We don't like to be inconvenienced. We don't like to be physically uncomfortable. A relentless person will push when it's hard. They'll push even harder. Most people will complete the bare minimum to get along. We all do it in our life. We, just do what we need to get by. We kind of keep it all kind of working, but not necessarily thriving. A relentless person will set records. So are you going to be a coach like most people, or are you going to be a relentless coach in your business? You have to decide. Non-negotiable. It is an adjective, and this is what it means in the dictionary. If you look it up, not open to discussion or modification. Non-negotiable. My mom used to say this word to me when I was a kid. She would say, like about my chores or something that I didn't want to do, she'd go, it doesn't matter. It's not up for debate. It's non-negotiable. And so maybe that's why this word has always been so ingrained in my head, and it's been so easy for me to understand as a coach, is because my mom totally used this mentality with me as a kid. It was not open to discussion. When she used that word, it meant that I could not debate with her. I could not try and give her excuses for why I couldn't do the thing that she was telling me I needed to do. There was no way for me to try and, compromise it with her. Like, oh, well, what if I do half of that thing? And what if I finish it in twice the time? No, non-negotiable, not open for discussion, debate, modification, any of it. So to me, when I came into coaching and I heard my mentor say, these things are non-negotiable. Your 3 vital behaviors are non-negotiable. Hitting Success Club is non-negotiable. In my head, I said, all right, not open to discussion, not open to modification. I just have to make it happen. And I came into this business knowing that I wanted to build a business. And I know not everybody does that. But once you do know that you want to build a business, whether it's the beginning, halfway through, or even after you've been a coach for a long time, it may be hard to make this shift because for so long you haven't been thinking this way. But as soon as you know you want to build a business, these things that are non-negotiable become no longer open to discussion or modification. If you want to be successful, they're non-negotiable. That's kind of it. So when you hear me say non-negotiable, when you hear other leaders on training calls say non-negotiable, when you hear Carl Deichler, our CEO himself, say the vital behaviors are non-negotiable, this is what we mean. We mean that to us, they're not open for discussion. They're not open for modification. Success Club 3 is not Success Club 5. You know what I mean? Like in our businesses, we've made them non-negotiable. And the reason why we are so redundant on this fact to everybody is because building this business is really as simple as making a few small tasks every day non-negotiable. You already make things non-negotiable in your life anyway. Drinking some sort of liquid during the day is non-negotiable to you. You don't go a whole day without drinking anything. Hopefully brushing your teeth is a non-negotiable thing. You may not love it. You may be too tired at night, one night, and you're like, oh, I don't want to have to get up and go brush my teeth. But you do it anyway because it's non-negotiable in your life. Let's see, putting on shoes to go run errands, another non-negotiable. We all just have to deal with it. Back to life. These are non-negotiables in our life. As a grown-up, you have to go, for doctor's appointments every 6 months or every year. It's just something that you kind of have to do. These things are not necessarily our favorite things to do, but they're non-negotiables. You just have to do them. It's part of being a successful human, being a successful grown-up. And as a coach, there are just things that are non-negotiable in our business. So on the Success Club cruise, Carl gave an entire speech about non-negotiables, and it's up on YouTube. All you have to do is Google Carl Deichler non-negotiable, and you'll find it if you want to listen to it. It's about 5 to 7 minutes long. And one of the quotes in there that he said was that with the obesity epidemic still happening and more people being overweight, unhealthy, and having lifestyle diseases, so things that are curable with a change of lifestyle or things that can be vastly improved with a change of lifestyle, our work as coaches is just beginning. You guys, do you hear that? It's only beginning. I don't want anybody to say, well, I got into this too late. Everybody already knows a coach. There's already too many coaches, because it's just not true. There are so many people still out there to reach. And even though you may feel like everybody you know is a coach, it's just because you're involved in this world. But to just normal people that are going about their lives, it's not inundating their life in the same way. And we still need to be able to reach people. There are still people out there who this business opportunity can change their life. And we have the key to give them to put in that door to open up, to walk through a whole new doorway in their life. He said, our work has just begun. I need to ask you to change the mentality. Too much of what we do is negotiable. Vital behaviors can't be negotiable. And he's not saying this just because he feels this way flippantly. He's saying this as the CEO of a $1 billion company. He knows the numbers of the business. He knows how many coaches in the network hit Success Club. He knows how many challenge packs are sold every month. He knows how many people are on Shakeology. He knows all of these numbers. And he actually went on to say in the talk, there's no way every one of you is doing this non-negotiably, because if that were the case, the numbers of our company would look vastly different than they are. He's looking at the numbers. He's saying, I can tell you're not doing it. And he basically made a call to action for all coaches that want to be successful to make the vital behaviors a non-negotiable in your life. Just a habit, a daily habit. 3 things, not that hard, and all of them benefit you personally, even outside of you being a coach. Connecting with people, being a product of the product, which means just doing your workout and drinking your Shakeology, and personal development. They all help you as a person to be a better person, a healthier person, a more well-rounded person, to strengthen your weaknesses. So there's really no downside to this. It's just like brushing your teeth or putting on clothes or doing laundry. It may seem like a chore someday, but it's still going to benefit you in the long run. Okay, so I want to talk to you guys about a cooler, a closer, and I think I'm missing some slides actually. Let me make sure they're all here. Okay, a cooler, a closer, and a cleaner. So this is directly from this book, Relentless, by Tim Grover. It's really phenomenal. Tim Grover, he is basically a sports physician. I don't even know if that's exactly how he calls himself, but he works with the best of the best of the best. He's almost like Hitch. Did you guys ever see that movie Hitch with Will Smith, where he was like a secret date doctor, and like he didn't really have a website, but like people passed his name in private circles? That's how this is. His name is passed in private circles from the best of the best. I'm talking Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan, Dwayne Wade, like legendary people in sports, and he coaches them. He's also super famous and well-known. His main strength is helping people come back after a huge setback. So, and like a career-ending injury or something super devastating in their life. This is the guy that the best people in sports go to help them be even better, to be more successful. So he works with the best of the best. He knows these mentalities. And he says that people fall into these 3 categories: a cooler, a closer, and a cleaner. All right? So here's some of the differences. A cooler will have an amazing game, right? They'll just have they're a good player. They'll do a great job. A closer will have an amazing season, but a cleaner will have an amazing career. A closer thinks that they want the success. They think they want the limelight, but then when they start to have it, they get really overwhelmed and they kind of pump the brakes. They back off. They self-sabotage. They kind of can't hang with it because they just probably need more personal development, really. A closer will stand in front of everybody so that everybody can see that they want it. So these are people who talk a big game. They're always talking about it. They're always talking about it. They're always putting themselves out there, but they're maybe not being about it 100% of the time. A cleaner doesn't have to talk about wanting it. Everybody knows they want it just based on their actions. Everybody knows they've got it based on their actions. They don't have to tell you, I am a coach, I want to be a top coach. Everybody can tell by the way that they act, by the way that they conduct themselves. A cooler doesn't really lead, but they really enjoy being a part of the team. And there's places for these people in every organization, in every team. You need all of these different people in a team. But to be massively successful, to be a relentless coach, hopefully it's becoming clear which category you need to fall in. Coolers don't lead, but they enjoy being on the team. Closers, they do like to lead, and they really want to be congratulated for doing the job well. So closers are the people that they almost can't do a good job if someone is not watching them and telling them, good job. A cleaner is just going to expect you to do it without congratulations because that's what you do to be successful. A cooler won't take on extra things that make them uncomfortable. They don't really like to do things that they don't feel that they can already do really well. Closers will try, definitely. They'll go for it if they feel eclipsed, but they're not going to put themselves out to accomplish it. They're not going to put themselves on the line to embarrass themselves in any way. Cleaners, they don't ask, they don't wait. They just go out and they do it. They trust their instincts, they trust their training, and they just do it. They take all the shots that they can. A cooler worries about the competition and what others are going to think. So they're the one on the court that's constantly like looking at the stands. They're the people who perform and are constantly looking at the judges. They're the coaches that post and then sit there looking for every like and comment and to see if something negative comes in or not. A closer constantly studies the competition to see where they stack up. So these are people who are following a million other coaches and they're constantly saying, well, that person's moving fast for me. That person did this kind of graphic. Maybe I need to do that. That person did this. Maybe I need to do that. And they're not just living their own life and doing their own business. A cleaner, they don't care about the competition. They're not watching the competition. In fact, they make the competition study them. They're the people that the other people look to see how they're doing it, to see what they're doing right. Their blinders are on and they're just going. They're just doing their thing. They're working on their goals. They're becoming better. And because of that, other people study them instead. In coaching, coolers and cleaners can hit Success Club if all the elements are in their favor that month. So a cooler and a cleaner, they may hit Success Club if there's a big launch that they've been promoted, if there's tons of momentum, if there's a really cool theme, if it's just a month when a lot of people are thinking about fitness, like January, or, like March for spring break, or in the upcoming months for the summer. A closer goes out and creates the opportunities every single month, regardless of their circumstances, regardless of if it's a historically busy month or a historically quiet month, regardless of if there's a launch or if there's no new products to talk about. They go out and they make the opportunities happen. Coolers and cleaners, they need kicks in the booty. They need those reminders. They need the coach that's always like, here's the next thing to do. Go out and do it. You can do it. A closer waits for no one. They find the answers themselves and nothing holds them back. They don't need someone giving them, rah-rah-rahs to do it. They just do it. Coolers get Success Club points here and there. Coolers are people that you see on the board with the almost there month after month after month. Maybe they hit Success Club here and there, but mostly they're just getting points here and there. Cleaners hit Success Club 5 most of the time because cleaners are working, they're doing stuff. A cleaner will stop at 4 though on a tough month because they didn't want to have to, push. The opportunity didn't just kind of come to them in the way that they were hoping, whatever the case. A closer accepts absolutely nothing less than their Success Club goal, whether that be 5 or 10, every single month without fail. So I want to talk a little bit about how this can affect you as a coach. Let me look at my notes really quick. So there's these really cool statistics about Success Club. You guys may have heard me share them. But Beachbody did a couple studies because Success Club is something that Beachbody didn't just willy-nilly put together. They studied all the top leaders in the company and they said, what are the things that these coaches are doing consistently? And how can we teach new coaches to do the same so that they can be massively successful as well? And they found that the successful coaches in the company were consistently helping at least 3 new people every month. And I said, okay, well, let's make that a thing. Let's make that a thing that we can train people on, that we can incentivize and reward people for, so that people have a target, so that you can know the direction you're going, you know the route, you know what to do. Then they didn't stop there. They studied the difference between coaches who hit Success Club 5 consistently every single month in 2014 and coaches who either didn't hit it or who hit it inconsistently. And the coaches who hit Success Club 5, we'll call them our cleaners, consistently, they made 23 times more income than coaches who didn't hit it or who hit it inconsistently. So it goes to show you that making it a goal is not just something, that you can do to get a reward from Beachbody, a free bobblehead, your name on the leaderboard. It puts more money into your pocket. It helps build your business to be a cleaner, to make that something that's important to you. But let's take it one step further. For the closers, people who hit Success Club 10 for 1.5 to 2.5 years, on average, make $100,000 annual income as coaches. This is people who are Success Club 10 all-star legends. That means that they've hit 10 consistently for 2 years straight without missing a month. Brigitte Linford shared this statistic, and she said, a rule of thumb I was told when I signed up was if I hit Success Club 5 every month, I could expect a 6-figure income in 2 to 3 years. If I hit Success Club 10, I could get there even faster. That's what I tell my coaches. And seeing who my Success Club All-Stars are, I can see that continue to be a truth. So she's watching this trend continue. I have a few 6-figure earners, and they are my coaches that hit Success Club 10 consistently. So if you want to take it up a notch, if you don't want to just be a cooler or a closer and I meant to put cleaner here, and you want to be a cleaner, making Success Club 10 your non-negotiable is super important. Okay, so bottom line for all of this is you have to be comfortable being uncomfortable. That last mile, that last set, the last 5 minutes on the clock, every time you think you can't, you have to do it anyway. And this happens in Success Club. This will happen in your workouts. And this is something that if you can get really, really good at it, it's going to help you in all different areas of your life. It's going to help you in your marriage, in your parenting, in your relationships, in your finances. Because if you can get comfortable being uncomfortable and you can learn how to push through those uncomfortable things, all you do is you get stronger. It happens in your workouts. It happens in your relationships. It happens with any sort of trait that you're trying to cultivate in your life. As humans, we don't like to be uncomfortable. It's biological, right? We're animals at our core. We want to do the things that don't cause us discomfort. Pushing yourself out of your comfort zone, pushing yourself in your workouts, getting in shape. People don't work out because it's physically uncomfortable, not because doing a 30-minute workout is so hard that they can't accomplish it, because most people can. It's because it's physically uncomfortable to get all hot and sweaty. It's physically uncomfortable to work your muscles until they're shaking. We don't want to make ourselves uncomfortable. We'd much rather be curled up with a blanket, watching Netflix, eating popcorn. Like, everybody would say that, but that's not going to make you stronger. That's not going to make your muscles stronger. It's not going to make your heart healthier. It's not going to make your brain stronger. The same in coaching. It's when it comes down to the end of the month and you have the decision to do what's comfortable and to just stop trying and to do what's uncomfortable and to reach out to those extra people, to talk to people you may be afraid to talk to follow back up one more time with somebody, even though, you know, you're nervous to be rejected by them. You have to get good at doing it anyway. Tim Grover has a quote, and this may be a little harsh, but I really love it because this is the style of mentoring that I really love. I love the tough love. And he says, get comfortable. This is what he tells his players. Get comfortable being uncomfortable or find another place to fail. So basically, if you're not willing to get uncomfortable, you're just not going to be able to find success and you need to go somewhere else and do something else. But the truth is that no matter where you go to get better, you're going to have to be uncomfortable. Okay. You were born relentless. So maybe you're watching this call and you're going, Becca, I'm not relentless. I'm not a cleaner, right? Maybe I'm a cooler. Maybe I'm a closer. I'm definitely not a cleaner. I'm not relentless. Let me tell you something. You were born relentless, okay? You absolutely were. Babies are so relentless. This is a picture of Cadence. I don't even think he was 2 years old yet, and he is absolutely climbing his crib. He would climb. He'd stick his little feet in the grooves, and he'd basically do a pull-up as like a 1-year-old and fall, like tumble into the bed. And he'd do the same thing out, and it would drive me crazy and it would panic me. That's why his mattress was moved down. And swiftly after this, we moved him to a toddler bed because we were sure that he was going to break his neck at some point. He was relentless. He did not care about our rules about the bed and about climbing. He wanted to do it and he was going to do it. Babies don't stop until they're satisfied. They tell everyone how it's going to be, and they don't even care for a second what you think of them. If they're hungry, they're going to cry until you feed them. If they don't like that their diaper's wet, they're going to let you know until you change it. They don't care if you're frustrated at them. They don't care if you think that they're naggy. They don't care any of these things. They're relentless in their pursuit of what they want. And they're going to try 1,000 times over and over and over until they get it. Just like kids learning how to walk. They take a few steps, they fall. They stand up, they fall. You're watching them. Maybe you're laughing at them. Maybe you're videotaping it. Do they care that you're laughing at them? Do they care that they're being mocked? No. Do they care that this is the 100th time they've tried and, you know, by all visible telling have failed at this? No, they're going to keep trying. They're relentless learners. And that is what makes babies so successful. You may be laughing to me and saying, babies successful, but think about it. In your first year or two of life, you learn so many things. You are hugely successful at growing and at learning how to do these core skills that we have to master just to be able to be humans. They learn insane amounts because they are absolutely relentless in this path. Okay, can you remember a time when you weren't being taught limitations and compliance? Remember, you were born relentless. All babies were born relentless. Can you remember a time when you weren't being taught limitations and compliance, watching what everyone else was doing, scrutinizing all of your options, worrying about what people would say? At some point in your life, you stopped doing what came naturally, what you used to do as a baby when you were learning and trying and excelling and being hugely successful at all of these things you were learning. and you started doing what you were told to do. You took all those urges, all of those passions, all of those insatiable desires, and you stuffed them down where no one else could see. Right here, right now, in this minute, those things are all still there. It's a part of you that you might not show anybody else, but there's a tiny part of you inside that refuses to conform and behave. It's the dark side of your instinct, and you can't be great without it. Picture a lion, right? A wild lion out in the middle of, Africa, wherever they are. They stalk their prey, they attack, and they kill it at will. And then they just go on in search of their next conquest. And we don't look at these lions and go, they're bad lions. Those guys are failures. They're horrible. They're so mean. They're just being lions. He's doing what his instincts tell him to do. He doesn't know anything else. He's not misbehaving. He's not being bad. He's just being a lion. Now what happens when you take that lion and you lock him up in the zoo? He lies there all day. You go and you visit these things at the zoo. Are they like amazing wild creatures? No, usually they're super boring. They're just laying there. They're quiet. They're lethargic. They're super well fed. What happened to all of those instincts? What happened to the amazing power, to the relentlessness of these lions? Well, it's still in there. It's still inside of them somewhere. Let them out of the zoo and they go wild again. Put them back in the cage they lay down. Most people are like lions in the cages, safe, tame, predictable. They are waiting for something to happen to them. But humans, the cage isn't made of glass and steel bars. It's made of bad advice, low self-esteem, and bullshit rules, and tortured thinking about what you can or can't do and what you're supposed to do and what you're not supposed to do. It's molded around you by a life of overthinking, overanalyzing, being worried about what can go wrong. Stay in the cage long enough and you forget those basic instincts. Can you be reasonably successful by just following the directions, staying within the lines, by hitting Success Club here and there, getting a few points here and there, maybe hitting 5 here and there? Sure, you absolutely can. That's what most people do in their lives. But we're talking about being elite. We're talking about being unstoppable. We're talking about being hugely successful in your coaching business. You have to learn to put aside all of those limiting things you've been taught, all the restrictions, the negativity, the doubt. It sounds complicated, but it's super simple. Stop overthinking. Can you be the best? Absolutely. Of course you can. This is a picture of Kobe Bryant. I'm actually going to give you an example, not of Kobe Bryant, but this was a way better picture than the guy I was going to give you an example of, so I included it. How can you be massively successful like I'm talking about? You have to stop overthinking it. You have all the tools, right? You have all the training. You have all the support in our team, in Beachbody corporate, from me, from your sponsor coach. All of it is there. And you have the amazing story inside of you. You have that thing. You wouldn't be here if you didn't have it. So you just have to let it go. You have to stop overthinking it and keeping it caged. Excuse me. You have all these things at your disposal. So you can learn how to talk to people. You can learn how to handle objections. You can learn how to invite. It's all out there. Real learning, though, doesn't mean clinging to those lessons, to your new coach training, to the objections scripts that we give you, to the screenshots that we share. Real learning means absorbing all of that and then trusting yourself to use what you know, to go out there and try, to go out there and talk to people. It's instinctive and not impulsive. It's quick and not hurried. It's that confidence, knowing that all the work you've done has created an unstoppable internal resource that you can draw on in any situation. How do we do that? You just have to practice. You just have to get better at it. So how can you be a cleaner coach, right? How can you be relentless and unstoppable? You have to learn and practice and improve and trust yourself. But all these things are already there. You have your new coach training. You have all of the other team trainings that we have. You have the support of our team. You have the support of your upline coach. You have the support of your success partners. You have Beachbody corporate supporting you, giving you new tools, new products, new incentives all the time. But you have to take what you learn and go outside of it. You can't just cling to the lessons. You have to go and you have to practice. Just like every athlete, They can't just go to a basketball camp and learn how to shoot and be an amazing superstar. They have to go and they have to practice. They have to learn the little things that they can do to make their shot just that much better, that just 1 or 2 tiny % better, and improve every single time. And then when it's game time, you have to trust yourself when you're talking to that prospect that you just want so bad to see the big picture, right? And you're nervous, like, am I going to word vomit? Am I going to say the right thing? Am I going to say the wrong thing? Don't just freak out and not do it because that you're scared. You just have to trust yourself. Trust that the practice and the learning and all of that and your instincts will pull you through. And whatever happens, you just learn from it and you start the cycle over again, practice and improving. All right, so clutch is the last minute, right? When somebody does something really clutch, it's like the Hail Mary pass at the end, which is great. And that can happen in your business. But relentless is every minute. So you need to treat every week in your business as if it's the last week of the month and you're pushing for Success Club. Because when you do that, you're going to take all that pressure off yourself. You're going to be rising higher than the bare minimum. And all that's going to do is help you get to your goals faster. No more playing safe, right? Cleaners don't play safe. They don't wait around for permission. They don't only talk to the people that come to them. They go out and they find opportunities. They go out and they make opportunities happen. They also don't compete. So you need to put on your blinders right this second. Stop looking at other people's businesses. Stop looking at other coaches' posts and thinking that you have to be like them. You are your own peg, and you don't have to try and fit yourself into any shaped hole that you don't fit in. You don't have to be a coach like me. You don't have to be a coach like a coach in the top 10. You can be your own coach. You can be a coach like no coach has ever been before. It's not impossible. It just hasn't been done yet. So blaze your own path if you don't fit into these molds. That's the amazing thing about this business. Don't compete with anybody. Make them compete with you. Put on your blinders and be so good that everybody else starts looking at you going, whoa, how do I do what she's doing? And then teach them that they just need to do their own thing anyway. Okay, I want to give you an example, like I was saying, about Larry Bird. So let me go back up to this picture just for the basketball. Okay, so Larry Bird was an incredible basketball player, just like all-time legend. And I want to give you an example about this cleaner instinct, this relentless instinct. You want to see raw, cleaner instinct? Find a video of Larry Bird in the 1988 All-Star game, the 3-point contest against Dale Ellis. Larry Bird had won the competition the 2 previous years and was coming back to defend his title. He had made sure there was no doubt of who was going to win. Who's finishing second? He would ask the other players in the locker room. It wouldn't be him. After every shot, as soon as the ball left his fingertips, he turned back to the rack to get the next ball. He never watched a single shot after it left his hand. Some went in, some clanged off the rim. He never looked. He was already halfway off the court, headed back to the bench by the time the winning ball went in. He never even took off his warm-up shirt. It was all instinct. He didn't wait to see what would happen. He already knew. And I thought this was incredible, and it has so many parallels to coaching. And I find that myself, I do the same thing. You're sending messages, you're talking to people, you're reaching out, you're inviting. Do you sit there and you wait to see what's going to happen? Do you sit there and you freak out about every single one? No. Some are going to be slam dunks. Some are going to go perfectly in the net. Some are going to clamber off to the side. It shouldn't matter because you should be on to the next one. You have to emotionally separate yourself from each and every act in this business, because if you're emotionally tied to how every single person ever responds to you, you're going to be on this horrible roller coaster all day, every day. You have to trust your instinct that what you have is valuable, that what you're saying is inspiring, and that for the right people, they're going to say yes, and they're going to get what you're giving, and you're going to be able to help them. You can't be stuck on every single shot that you take. All right. The last thing I wanted to share with you, this is a quote, "Pressure makes diamonds," and I know that you guys have all heard it before, but I wanted to share this little extra thing about it. Let me find it really quick. 106. Because I thought it was really, really great. Let's find it really quick. Okay. Pressure can bust pipes, but it can also make diamonds. If you take the negative view, it's going to crush you every time. Now you're in a "I can't do this" frame of mind and mentality. But the positive view is that pressure is a challenge that defines you in a good way. It gives you the opportunity to see how much you can take and how far you can go. Pressure makes diamonds. And I think that that is an insanely appropriate quote for our business, since diamond is a huge goal for a lot of coaches. And this is so true. So to be relentless, to be a hugely successful coach, to hit all of your goals, there's going to be some pressure. And you can take that pressure and you can make it a bad thing, and you can let it crush you, and you can get so overwhelmed and you can quit coaching and give up. Or you can take that pressure and you can let it mold you into something even better. Diamonds used to be coal. All the difference is pressure and time. And you can be that. You can transform yourself into something greater. And the most amazing thing about this that I've found is when you open yourself up to that, it lets you be able to do it in so many other areas of your life. Becoming a successful coach has helped me become a better person in almost every area of my life. It's helped me become a better friend. It's helped me become a better wife. It's helped me become a better mom. It's helped me to become better at fitness and physical challenges and endurance. It's helped me mentally to get through tough times, because I look at the things I can do in coaching and I say, look, if I can push through there, then I can push through over here too. If I can get through a rough month in coaching, I can get through a rough month in my family. You know, like I can do these hard things and I don't buckle under pressure. I let the pressure fuel me to see how far I can go, to surprise myself with the things that I can accomplish. Just like when you push hard in a workout and you get that one extra rep and you kind of surprise yourself, you go, oh, I didn't think I could do that. It's the same thing in your business and the same thing in your life. All right, so that is the end of my slideshow. Hope that you guys liked a little bit about non-negotiable things and a little bit about relentless. So one more time, if you liked a lot of the quotes in there, the stuff about cleaners, coolers, and closers, all that is directly from this book, Relentless, in case anybody needs to screenshot it, by Tim Grover. It's phenomenal. If you are a Ruby personality, you will eat this book alive. You'll absolutely love it. It is definitely something that speaks to that competitive nature. And even if you're not a Ruby, I think that you'll still really enjoy it. It talks a lot about just having that mentality, you know, of someone who's not going to give up, of someone who is going to push through, and what separates, you know, the really greats in anything, in sports, in industry, and business, from the people who are just kind of good, you know? And I think that there's so many things that are applicable to what we do from that mentality. There's a lot of sports metaphors in it, but I actually really, really enjoyed it. Tim is, he definitely doesn't beat around the bush. So be ready for some tough love in the book. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and stop recording.